What is up, everybody? I'm Clayton. Welcome back to Ages of Film and another live stream Sunday. We're back, baby. We are back. It's been a minute. Hey, it's been a long minute, man. Things have been crazy. What can you do? Um, so as you guys can tell by the title, we're doing top 10 horror films from the 80s today. This is something I started back probably a month ago now. I did my top 10 favorite horror movies from the 90s, and then I did 2000s, and then I attempted to do the 80s. Had something happen, wasn't able to finish, so I definitely wanted to come back and give you guys this stream. So I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm ready to kick it with you guys. Hope you guys got your lists ready. And definitely, drop your picks in the comment section as we go through this. Speaking of which, let's see who we got in the comment section today with us right now. We got Mason, the King of Horrors, here. What's up, Mason? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Glad you could make it. Glad to have you here. He's also saying Gremlins should be on this list, I hope. And we'll see, man. We shall see. Dominique St. Clair's in the chat saying, what's up to everybody? Dominique, thanks for being here, man. Good to have you here. Hope you enjoy it. And I'm interested to see your list, your top 10 from the 80s, man. So, yeah, thanks for being here, Dominique. Appreciate it. Let's see who else we got right now. The Travi Twitch, Florida in the house. What is up, man? Hope you're doing well. Glad you could join us. And yeah, thanks for being here, man. Let me know your list in the comment section. So let's do this, guys. Y'all ready? I'm freaking ready, dude. I am freaking ready. Yeah, feeling good. It's a beautiful day out. Got some energy going on, energy drink going on. So yeah, ready to kick it with you freaks. 80s, baby. So ground rules, just again, in case this is anyone's first time here. Top 10 from the 80s. So we're going from 1980 to 1989. That's the cutoff. And just as a kind of a reminder, horror is subjective. There's certain movies that I would consider horror that you guys may not consider horror. And there may be movies that you guys consider horror that I don't really see as horror. So if a certain movie doesn't come up, that could be the reason. It could be because it's teetering in two different genres. And to me, it just feels more like a different genre than horror. Because I know I can think of a couple movies that I'm sure is probably going to be on most people's list for the 80s that you're not going to see on here. And that's simply because I don't see them as true horror. They're more of a different genre for me personally. So just keep that in mind as we go through it. This is just my list. Would love to see your list. Let me know in the comment section. All right, man, you guys are already going at it in the chat. I love it. So we're gonna start with number 10, and we're gonna work our way down to number 1. So I got my my list here. Go ahead and pull those bad boys up. Where are they? Here we go. All right. So go ahead and get ready to post your number 10 in the chat. Go ahead and post your number 10. Let me see what you guys have for your number 10 favorite horror movies from the 1980s. My number 10 is Pet Sematary, the OG Pet Sematary from 1989, baby. Yeah, I love the original Pet Cemetery is a banger, man. Just it's so good. It's definitely it's a classic. Um, I love what's his name, Fred, the guy that the plays Herman Munster. What's his name? Fred something. Let's see. I'll have to put it in. You guys know how I am with names, man. My I do not remember names. Let's see. Here we go. 17, Fred Ginn. Fred Jean. Gwen? Ginn? Jean? Whatever, however you pronounce it. I like that dude. I like him in this movie. He's good. Obviously, the one that everyone seems to talk about is the the chick. What's her name? Creepy chick. Greta or something. Yeah, she's freaking. She's crazy, man. But yeah, I actually, fun fact, I actually grew up watching part two before I saw the first one. I saw the second one before I saw the first one. The reason for that was because as a kid, I was also a big Terminator fan, loved the Terminator movies, loved Terminator 2. And the kid from Pet Cemetery Part 2 is in Terminator 2. So it was like one of those things where, I knew him from Terminator 2, and Pet Cemetery 2 was on TV, I think, one day. And so I just sat down and watched it because I was like, hey, that's the Terminator kid. So I actually saw the second one before I saw the original, but this first one is a classic. I love going back to it. It still holds up. Interesting concept, interesting idea. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like from the title, I thought it had something to do with, like pets coming back from the dead. Almost, I thought it almost was going to be like a pet zombie movie, type of thing. But they didn't go that route. I mean, you do get the cat that comes back from the dead, right? But that's not really what the movie's about. So I found it a really interesting concept. I do think the acting is good, but everyone, it's got that emotional punch to it. I can't even imagine, what it's like losing a kid. So yeah, I really liked the first Pet Cemetery. It's still a banger. It's still one that I go back to, and yeah, really enjoy it. Let's see what the chat is doing for their number 10 skis. Let's see here. I say Batman 1989 is horror. Hey, the right answer to any question is Batman. You can't go wrong with Batman, dude. It's freaking Batman. I will accept Batman on any test or quiz. It's freaking Batman, dude. Let's see. You count it as one. It should be here. Nightmare on Elm Street. Love it. Twitch is saying I also enjoyed Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet is good. As a werewolf guy, Silver Bullet. I just saw that again recently. That's a good one, dude. That's I can't I got no problems with you putting in Silver Bullet. Pet Cemetery is a great. That crazy sick lady is horrifying. Yeah, she is, dude. Zelda, that's her name, Zelda. Yeah, she was actually played by Guy, actually played by man in real life, but that character, yeah, no, thank you. I ain't going anywhere near that. Yeah, she fucked me up, dude. Just yeah, I want no part of that. Mason saying part two is underrated. Yeah, it is. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about Pet Cemetery Part Two, but it really is underrated. I mean, I think it's good. I like the dad in that one as well. He's creepy. Yeah, I like part two. I do. It's got a lot of nostalgic to it for me. It's not as good as the first, obviously, but it's still, yeah. I mean, I like the second one. The remake is good too. So this is a hot take, but I actually prefer the remake to the original. I think. I'm not, I say that with hesitancy because I love this original, but I really liked the remake. I thought they did a phenomenal job. The tone was spot on. I like the changes that they made to it. I think it ends on a super dark note. That ending is just dark, man. Really dark. So yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed the remake quite a bit. Mason saying that's what I thought it was going to be too, a pet zombie movie. Yeah, I mean, just from the title, that's what I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Remake was done right. Yeah, it was. It sure was. Twitch, and I've not seen the new Pet Cemetery. I would recommend it, man. I would. It's solid. The cinematography is beautiful in it. I think the acting is really good. They take a different approach. They don't try to make a carbon copy of the original. You could definitely still get the essence of the original in this one. Like it's still there. You can still see it, but they do take liberties in the creative process and um give you something that's fresh and different, which I like. And then they definitely change up the ending, which I liked. So yeah, man, if you haven't seen the remake, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I would say definitely check it out. It was really good. Um, Bloodlines was great. I haven't seen Bloodlines. Haven't seen Bloodlines. That's the one I need to get around to seeing. But yeah, so there you go. Moving on, we got number 9 coming up. So let me go ahead and get my number 9 here. Hey guys, this list was hard too, man. This list was really hard. I mean, it's the 80s, dude. It's the 80s. There's so many bangers from the 80s. All right, so my number 9, I'm still hesitant a little bit on this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm going with Fright Night from 1986, 85, or 86. Yeah, that's my number 9, Fright Night. Uh, to me, this is my favorite vampire movie. So I'm not the biggest vampire guy. I'm really not. I'm a werewolf guy. Werewolves are my jam. Werewolves are, yeah, they're my favorite mythical creature. So I can always get with some werewolves. And when it comes to vampires, because I love werewolves, naturally I'm not gonna like vampires. But to me, they're not nearly as scary. They're not nearly as appealing to me, I guess, as werewolves are. So I'm not a big vampire guy, but there definitely are vampire movies that smash, dude. And this is one of the vampire movies that I love. Love this movie. It's one of the few vampire movies that I genuinely love. And yeah, I never get tired of it. If you want to you know swing by anytime, be like, hey, let's throw on Fright Night. I'm game. I'm good for that, man. Love Fright Night. This is my favorite vampire movie. Yeah, it's got a lot of nostalgia to it as well. I grew up with this movie. I love Charlie Brewster. I love his buddy Eddie. You get Peter Vincent, the great vampire killer. The vampire himself was really good. Yeah, I love it. I love the tone. I love the pacing is phenomenal. I love how they throw in all the different little vampire tropes, like he can't enter a house without permission. He can only come out at night. This was before Hollywood got all weird with their vampire lore and started making vampires sparkle in the sunlight. Yes, I'm looking at you, Twilight. That's what you get from me. Yeah, screw that. Vampires don't sparkle. Vampires don't sparkle. They burn. If you put a vampire in the sunlight, he burns. I don't care who he is or who she is. They burn. Don't tell me that vampires try to sparkle. Get out of here with that. Stop it. Stop it, Edward or Jacob, whatever the two little half a fruitcakes are in that movie. Yeah, no, don't come at me with that Twilight crap. Vampires burn in the sun. This was back when they knew that. They understood that. They did it right. So yeah, Fright Night, that's my jam, dude. I can kick it with Fright Night. That's my number 9. Let's see what the chat is saying for their number 9 skis. All right. Number 9. Twitch is saying number 9, The Fly. Good pick, man. Good pick on The Fly. That's, The Fly is a banger. I got no issues with that one. Great pick. Great body horror. Some of the best body horror practical effects you'll see. Yeah, that was Cronenberg did that one, and yeah, dude, The Fly it's classic. I love The Fly. It's a great movie. So yeah, solid pick, man. Solid pick on that one. Got no issues with that. Mason saying Fright Night. Mason, is Fright Night your number 9 as well? Let me know on that if we got that one at the same spot. Sarah Campbell's in the chat saying what's up, Sarah? Glad you could make it. Thanks for being here. Glad for you to join us. We're doing 80s, top 10 from the 80s. We're on number 9 right now. So yeah, glad you could be here. Let's see what else we got. 80s. Mason saying, I know this movie is not from the 80s, but From Dusk Till Dawn is amazing, perfect, and a true masterpiece. Yeah, and that one is a vampire movie. It is, but I almost don't even think of it as a vampire movie. It feels a lot more like a Western slash thriller, criminals on the run type of movie. The vampires don't have a big presence in the movie. Like they're there obviously especially in the third act when they kind of come on the scene and they're exposed. But like when I think of From Dusk Till Dawn, great movie, I agree with you. I just don't think of it as a vampire movie. I have to actually like stop and remind myself, oh yeah, there are vampires in that movie. Because I just think of the great characters, the great dialogue, George Clooney and Tarantino. Yeah. But yeah, good. Yeah, definitely a good movie for sure. Faux show. Mason is also saying Fright Night was one of the last true scary, perfect vampire movies. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think you're right on that. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like there's a couple vampire movies after Fright Night that did keep that kind of horror tone. Like I'm thinking of Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. That was a horror, but there's a lot of romance in that one as well. So I could definitely see that one being classified as like a kind of like a romantic horror, but that one was pretty dark. And yeah, there's been some vampire movies that you would classify as horror, but they weren't as perfectly executed in that horror tone that Fright Night was. So yeah, good call on that. Let's see. It's a vampire movie and action movie. Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, agreed. All right, so we're on to number 8 now. Number 8, we have boom, Prince of Darkness from 1987. John Carpenter classic. You guys know I love my Carpenter. And yeah, this is another awesome John Carpenter movie. Not one that I hear brought up a lot by people in the horror community. I don't know if it's because a lot of people just haven't seen this movie or if it's because they just don't care for this movie, but I love it. I love it. To me, I love. I mean, obviously, when you put um, Donald Pleasance in a movie, you're gonna get my attention. I love Donald Pleasance. He does a good job in this one. I just love the tone and the atmosphere in this movie. It's dark. It's the setting is good. That opening soundtrack, the score, bro, come on, dude. That score is sick. That Carpenter composed score. This may be my favorite Carpenter score, honestly. I love that opening score in Prince of Darkness. It's phenomenal. But I also invest with the characters. I really do. You know, I go along for the ride. It's a fun time. Some good scenes, some dark scenes, great practical effects by Carpenter. Yeah, really enjoy it. Really enjoy Prince of Darkness. Let's see what the chat is saying. Travi Twitch going number 8 is sorry. Number 8 for Twitch is Creep Show. Good call on that one, man. Good call on Creep Show. I like Creep Show. I do. I think I like the first one better than the second one. That seems to be. I feel like the consensus of people, most people that I seem to talk to, tend to like the second Creep Show better than the first one. And I like the second one too. I do. I like both of the Creep Show movies, but I personally I would prefer the first one over the second one. But they're both really good. So yeah, good call on that one for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Mason saying Creepshow 2 and 3 are great, but strange. So I could not even finish the third one. I literally couldn't finish it. I got through about 15 minutes of the third Creep Show and had to bow out. Like, dude, it was just so weird and cringe and just like, yeah, I don't like to rain on anyone's parade, but yeah, Creep Show 3 for me was just so far removed from the first two. So yeah, but the first two are both solid choices for sure. Both show. Mason saying you know about Creepshow 3, right? I do. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it personally. It's just I couldn't get through it. I literally couldn't even. I got about 15, 20 minutes in. No, I think I got a little further than that. I think I got about maybe 30 minutes in before I had to tap. I just couldn't, man. It was just so. I was like, what am I watching, man? What am I watching? But maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe I'll give it another try. If you're saying you love it, maybe I would. Maybe it's just the mood I was in that day or something. I don't know, but yeah. I'm never opposed to watching a movie, a second time, giving a movie a second chance. But yeah, for me, I just couldn't with the Creep Show 3. But yeah. All right, moving on to number 7, people. Number 7. Get your number 7s ready. My number 7. I might be making Mason a little upset with this one. I don't know. Hopefully he's not too mad at me because it is in my top 10. But my number 7, I'm going with Child's Play, the OG Child's Play, 1987, 1988, I think it was. Yeah. Look, I love this movie. I do. I love this movie. It's in my top 10 favorite horror movies from the 1980s. All right. So I love this movie. I love all 10 of these movies. I've never been the biggest Chucky fan personally. So I don't have like a whole lot of nostalgia to the character. I didn't come to Chucky until I wasn't like in college, I want to say. So he wasn't, he wasn't one of those slashers or horror characters that was around when I was a kid. When I was growing up, there was Michael, there was Freddy, there was Ghostface, there was Leatherface. Those were kind of, and Pennywise. Those were kind of my guys in horror. I didn't come to Jason or Chucky until later on. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia with Chucky, which is, if I grew up with Chucky around, grew up watching Chucky movies, I'm sure I would probably love, Chucky a lot more, would probably love his movies a lot more. But yeah, I love this movie. I love this movie. And this is, probably my favorite of the franchise. So, yeah, the original Child's Play is a banger. I got no issues with anyone who wants to put this as their top. I got no problems with that. Like, I get it. I do. It just doesn't have the same type of love for me that, say, Michael Myers has or Freddy Krueger has. So that's kind of what holds it back a little bit. But a great movie. I love this movie. I love the pacing. I love the direction. The payoff in the third act when Chucky starts speaking is done brilliantly. Uh, I love Andy. The kid version of Andy here's the kid is great. Yeah, I love this movie. It's definitely in my top 10. I got it here at number 7. Let's say let's see what the chat is saying. See what we got. Number 7, here we go. Mason's saying no. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Again, it made my top 10. It made my top 10. So, when look, 10 is tight, man. 10 is really tight. There are so many great horror movies from the 80s. When you're bringing it down to just 10, that means there's a lot that I left off of this list that I wanted to include, because I love so many of these 80s horror movies. So 10 is a really tight list, man, especially for the 80s. But it is in my top 10. I do love it. It's not, it doesn't have the same type of love or, rewatch for me that some of the other ones have. But yeah. Yeah, Mason saying, I'm a big Chucky fan, biggest Chucky fan in the world. Yeah. Hey, you tell by his picture there. Yeah, I know Mason's a big time Chucky fan. So, Chucky is classic. He is. Ghostface was after Chucky. Yeah, he was. But so when I was growing up, when I was a kid, I think so. Scream 3 had just been released in 2000, and I was still pretty young at the time, and I had only seen a handful of horror movies. I'd seen the original Halloween, I'd seen Jaws, I'd seen Nightmare, I'd seen Scream 1. So I came across Scream, and Ghostface after I came across Chucky. I didn't come across Chucky or see any of his movies until I was in college. So like, if you're new to my channel, I've said this before. I didn't become a horror fan until I was in college. Like, I only saw a handful of horror stuff um before college. It was never, it was never movies that we really had around our house a whole lot. So I wasn't exposed to a whole lot of horror. So when I got into college, that's when my love for horror really developed. And I got into, a lot more horror films at that time. That's when I came across, Chucky. I think I saw, some of the other classics around that time. I'd seen like a couple of the Friday movies before that. But that was also when I actually watched all the Friday movies as well. So yes, Chucky was before Ghostface, but I didn't come across Chucky in my horror experience until after Ghostface and Scream. So let's see what else we got going on here. So Twitch is saying number 7 is Friday the 13th, part 4. Jason Lives. I love it, dude. That's awesome. I love Jason Lives, man. Love Jason Lives. That's a banger, dude. Um, yeah, Jason Lives. You can't go wrong with that one, man. I mean, that's one of my favorite Friday movies. Period. Period. So yeah, great choice on that one. Great call. Let's see. Michelle Guzman is in the chat saying hi. What's up, Michelle? I'm glad you could be here. Good to see you as always. And yeah, we're on number 7 right now for our top 10 horror movies from the 80s. Michelle saying, I don't know what you've reviewed so far, but Lost Boys is my fave vampire movie of all time and one of my top 5 movies in general. Hey, The Lost Boys is a banger, dude. Lost Boys is that. For a long time, I went back and forth between Lost Boys and Fright Night for what was my favorite vampire movie, because I love both of those movies. So I got no issues with Lost Boys being on your list. All right, so Mason saying I actually love Jason X. I'm right there with you, dude. I'm right there with you. I actually have a good time with Jason X. I know a lot of people troll it. A lot of people, don't like it. They think it's stupid. They think it's dumb. And I get it. I didn't like it the first time I saw it. It was definitely a Friday movie that had to grow on me. And over time, as I went back to it more, it became one that, I actually like. And now, I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I could definitely throw it on and have a good time with Jason X for sure. Let's see. Michelle saying Fright Night doesn't come close to Lost Boys. What? What are you smoking? Get off it. Get off it. Stop. Doesn't come close to Lost Boys. Hey, to me, they're playing the same game. They're in the same league, man. 2 different conferences, but same league. So, yeah, I love Fright Night. All right, so we're on to number 6 now. Number 6. Put y'all's number 6 in the chat. Let me see what you got. My number 6. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. I'm looking at my list right now, man. This is tough. Ooh. Ooh. Buddy. I might have to make some changes here, honestly. I might have to make some changes here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Oh, and six. Okay. Man, did I leave a certain movie off? Oh, I did. Clayton, what are you doing, my guy? Yeah, there's a movie that definitely should be on here. I might throw it in at the end. I might throw it in as an honorable mention, as a movie that should have been on here, and I just for whatever reason missed it. I'll mention it afterwards. But yeah, there's a movie that should definitely be on here in this about in this place, 6, 7 ish. But yeah, I'll talk about it afterwards. So from my list here, number 6. This is gonna kill me. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. My number 6. I'm going with Halloween 4. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Halloween 4 is my number 6. Man, that hurts. That hurts because yeah, I love Michael. Love Michael. He's my boy. He's my favorite slasher, my favorite horror character, my favorite movie character of all time. I love Michael, dude. Huge Michael fan, huge Halloween fan. And it pains me. It pains me to put this movie this low because I love this movie. I really do. I have such a good time with it. So much fun. Super rewatchable. I watched this movie twice in a week. I watched it one night and then like the very next night I still had it queued up. So I was like, shit, I'll just watch it again. And I did, and I loved it equally. So yeah, love Halloween 4, man. Um, Dwight H. Little did a great job directing that movie. I love Rachel as a final girl. She's one of my favorite final girls. Jamie, played by Daniel Harris, is great. You get peak Loomis. Donald Pleasance just brings it. Some great lines in this one as well. You talk about him as if he were a man. That part of him died years ago. Yeah, I even love the Sheriff Meeks in this one. He's, replacing Sheriff Brackett from the I actually like Meeks better than Brackett. That's kind of a hot take with some Halloween people, but I do. I love Sheriff Meeks in this one. He does a great job. Love the performance and the character. Yeah, love him. So Halloween 4 is my number 6, and it pains me to put it that low. But that just shows you the kind of competition we're in on this list. For me to put Halloween 4, which is one of my favorite Halloween movies, down at number 6, not even breaking my top 5, that should show you what kind of competition we're in here, people. Some big time hitters. So yeah, that's there you go. That's my number 6. All right, what's saying the chats? What you guys talking about? Mason is saying, I love Fright Night and Lost Boys. Yeah, I'm with you. I love both, man. I do. And I don't have a problem with anyone that wants to put Lost Boys over Fright Night. I don't have a problem with that. I get it. It's good. It is. I just personally, I like the tone and the atmosphere a little better in Fright Night. And it has a little bit more nostalgia from me. But um uh Kiefer Sutherland's character in The Lost Boys, yeah, yeah, I can kick it with that for sure. Uh, Michelle saying, "Hide in Texas, I will come for you eventually. Bring it on, Kimosabi. Bring it on. I ain't scared. I ain't scared." Let's see, number 6. Mason saying Halloween 4 is a classic Halloween movie. It is, dude. It is. It's got a mad following, as it should, because it's a great Halloween movie. Yeah. Halloween 4 is one of the great ones. Mason saying, I love 5 too. It's a lot of fun. You know what? I get a lot of nostalgia love from Halloween 5. I know a lot of people are on the opposite side uh, of me when it comes to Halloween 5. They're not big on it. Michael from Movies and Beyond is not big on Halloween 5. Brian Lomax not big on Halloween 5. I know, like it's not popular to like this movie. It's not the majority, but for me, I think a lot of it just comes down to the nostalgia that I have with it. As a kid growing up watching Halloween movies galore, it kind of it brings me back some to my childhood, and watching those Halloween movies with my dad, and it was a good time. So it has some nostalgia power going for it. And there are some things I do like with it that they do good. Um, they don't make one thing that I think keeps it higher than some of the other Halloween movies like Halloween Resurrection or Halloween Ends, is that they don't make fun of Michael. They don't make a parody of Michael. They don't make a joke of Michael. They still do Michael right, with the exception of one scene, the crying scene, which I have big time problem with, and that definitely hurts this film. Um, but that's like a 2-second scene, and outside of that, they don't really, they do Michael pretty right for the most part. So I can't hate on it as much as I can hate on Resurrection or Halloween Ends. That just essentially it's just a parody. It's a YouTube parody. That's what those movies are. So those I don't like, but Halloween 5 I can at least, I get some enjoyment out of Halloween 5. Let's see what else. Halloween 5 takes place right after Halloween 4. It does. So actually, so technically, yes, it does take place right after Halloween 4, but in the story, it's actually a year after Halloween 4, because Michael, he falls through that little hole in the ground, and then he's just shacking up with a homeless guy for a year. I don't know what they playing poker together, like what are they doing? It's just having chess matches all the time. I don't know, but yes, technically it does follow the events. It picks up right after Halloween 4, and then it fast forwards a year, and that's where the story picks up. But yeah. Twitch is saying his number 6 is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. Hey, respect, man. I can respect that. Dream Warriors is solid nightmare movie. Solid nightmare movie. I got no issues with that. Good call. Kafer. She's correcting me on my pronunciation of Kiefer. Hey, this is my channel, girl. If I want to say Kiefer, it's Kiefer. All right. So, yeah, I'm going with Kiefer. So, boom. Let's see. God, Kill Count guy doesn't like Halloween 5. Hey, speaking of Michael, we get Michael from Movies and Beyond in the chat saying, "Hey man, I just wanted to drop in and hit that like button. Keep killing it, bro." Thanks, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And guys, if you have not checked out Movies and Beyond, go do it. Go check out Movies and Beyond. Smash the like button for Michael. Give him a sub. The guy got an awesome channel. Just a badass channel over there. So go show him some love. He's going to be streaming later tonight as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. He's doing a bracket tournament. Go show Michael some love. But yeah, thanks for being here, Michael. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for hitting that like button. Dominique St. Clair saying Jason Takes Manhattan is one of my favorites from the 80s. Definitely a fun film. That's awesome, dude. I like that you said that. I like that you said that because I actually don't hate part eight. I really don't. It seems to be low on a lot of people's list, but I personally I don't have any hatred for part eight. It's definitely got its problems for sure. I'm not denying that. It's got issues, but I can still get some enjoyment out of it. I think there's actually a number of things that I actually really do like about Friday Part Eight. But yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you enjoy that one. Mason saying Halloween Ends does Michael bad, bro. You're telling me, dude. Yeah. I not a fan of Halloween Ends. Not a fan of Halloween Ends. That's all. At all. Uh, all right, you guys going at it. From Texas is saying Phantasm 2 as your number 6, I assume. Dude, that's awesome. I did a review of Phantasm 1 and 2 on my channel. You guys can go find those on there. I like both of the first two Phantasm movies, 1 and 2. I enjoy both of them quite a bit. Love the color patterns in them. Love the tone, the cinematography. The Tall Man is an underrated horror character, in my opinion. I got no problems with that, man. A great call on Phantasm 2. All right, we gotta keep moving here. Number 5. So we're in our top 5 now. And dude, my top 5 is tight. It's super tight, man. I still don't feel comfortable with it, but my number 5, I'm gonna go. And again, it kills me to put this one this low, but it's big time competition. My number 5, I'm going with Christine, another John Carpenter film. That's right, Christine is my number 5. So there you go. I did a review of this one as well. For you guys that want to go check out my Christine review, I did a review on this one, broke it down, kind of gave my overall thoughts on it, in-depth thoughts on it. I love Christine, dude. Love Christine. I never get tired of it. That car is a thing of beauty. The soundtrack. I mean, bro, you open up the movie. You open up the movie with Bad to the Bone and a badass car shop. Bro, yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. You don't even have to sell me. Like I'm game. I'm in. Like, yeah. But then just like the characters, great characters. They really are. Dude, yeah, Christine's phenomenal. If anyone doesn't like Christine, you unsubscribe. That's all I gotta say. Unsubscribe. If you don't like Christine, this isn't the channel for you, because I love Christine. Love it. What do you guys have for your number 5? Let's see what we got going on. Mason saying I also love Elm Street 2. Nah, I'll leave it alone. I was gonna say something, but I'll leave it alone. If you guys want to know my thoughts on Nightmare Part 2, I did the entire Nightmare franchise review. So I've reviewed all the Nightmare movies on my channel. You can go, but that was back when it was just a podcast. So you can go back and through the archives. I actually have a playlist, a Nightmare playlist, where I've done all my Nightmare on Elm Street content. So if you guys want to know my deeper thoughts on Nightmare Part 2, you can go check that out. I've also done a Nightmare ranking video ranking all the Nightmare movies as well. So if you don't want the in-depth thoughts and you just want to see how I would rank the Nightmare movies, you can do that as well over there in the archives. Let's see. Dominique St. Clair saying Christine is a good movie. Dude, it is, man. I love Christine, bro. The scene where Christine goes after the bullies at night, and she's chasing down the main bully. I forget his name. But after she crashes into the gas station, she goes up in flames, and then she just rolls out and then starts coming after the bully kid. That scene is so good, dude. It's so good, man. I love that scene. There's so many great scenes in that movie. Yeah. Dude, you guys are getting me in the mood for Christine right now, bro. You're making me want to watch Christine right now, dude. Love Christine. Great movie. From Texas, saying Maximum Overdrive, The Shining, and Pet Sematary are some great Stephen King horror flicks from the 80s. Yeah, I mean those are some of the best in my opinion as far as adaptations. The Shining, yeah, Pet Sematary. Maximum Overdrive is a fun movie. It's not that scary. It is a horror film, but Maximum Overdrive is just fun. It's a fun ride. No pun intended. Yeah. Dominique St. Clair saying his number 5 is Cujo. Good call on Cujo. See, that's what I'm saying though. Like the 80s have so many bangers, dude. They've got so many bangers, man. I got no issues with that pick. Cujo is phenomenal. Great movie. I got no issues with that. Mason saying you want the car, it might try to kill you. Hey man, we all got to go sometime. If you're gonna go, as the Joker says in Batman '89, if you got to go with a smile, right? So if I'm gonna go, that's the way to go. Killed by a badass car, Christine. Yeah, man. I'm game for that, dude. I'm totally game. Let's see. Twitch is going number 5. They Live, another Carpenter movie with Roddy Piper. Love it. Good movie. Good call. Enjoy that one. Let's see. Right, still from Texas saying, yeah, Freddy is still so sick, scary, and sadistic as hell in Freddy's Revenge. He is. That's the one thing. Well, not the one thing, but that's one of the biggest things that Nightmare Part 2 has going for it is the dark Freddy. Love it. That is how they should have kept him, in my opinion. I know a lot of people love the more comedic Freddy. And look, I'm a big fan of Nightmare Part 4. I love Nightmare Part 4. And he's, they really hammer in on the comedic Freddy in that one. So I get it. But if I had a preference, like if we could go back in time, knowing what we know now in hindsight and go back in time and be like, okay, we can make these Nightmare movies and either keep Freddy really dark and menacing and sadistic like this, or we can add some comedy, some one-liners, type of stuff to the character. Which one do you want? I would say no, just keep them dark and fucked up. Like that's the Freddy I love. So like the tone of Freddy, how they use him in the first two, spot on. And even in the remake, I thought, again, the way that they use Freddy, you get that very dark, sadistic version of Freddy in the remake, which I love. And I thought Jackie Earl Haley did a great job as Freddy in the remake. So yeah, the movies that keep Freddy dark and menacing like that, are the ones that I love. So that's definitely something that Nightmare Part 2 has going for it for sure. Mason saying live stream idea for you to react to horror movies. Yeah, it's a good idea. I got a few ideas that I'm still kind of working through, thinking about doing for live stream content. So, and that is one of them. That is something I am considering doing. So yeah, let's see. Mason saying you need more Jason on your list. It's the 80s, bro. It's the 80s. There's so many bangers in the 80s. Uh, let's see. You guys are awesome, by the way. Awesome. Possum. Jerry Wilson is in the chat saying hi. What is up, Jerry? What's up, man? Glad you could make it. Glad you could be here. We're about to do our number 4 for the 80s. Jerry's one of my mods. Great dude. Love Jerry to death, man. Thank you so much, Jerry, for being here and for just helping out the channel, man. Love you, buddy. Thanks for being here, dude. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Dominique's saying Dark Freddy and comedic Freddy. I love. They both work in their own way. They do. Yeah. The comedic Freddy definitely works. And I don't have a problem. Like if anyone says I love Freddy for his comedy, I don't have an issue for that. With that, it's definitely a preference thing. I love darker toned movies in horror, darker toned horror movies. I always gravitate to the darker tones more. So for me personally, my personal taste and preference, I would prefer Freddy to stay that darker, just toying with his prey type of usage in those movies. But yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, there are some Freddy one-liners in some of the other movies that make me laugh to this day. When I hear them, one of my favorite lines is in part 4 when the guy wakes up on the hospital bed and he sees Freddy in the doctor garment, and he's like, Freddy, and Freddy just looks at him and is like, well, it ain't Dr. Seuss. Great line. Yeah. Jerry saying, please smash that like button. Yeah, do that. Listen to Jerry. Smash that like button. It helps out the channel a lot. Helps this video and content get out there, get exposed to more audiences. So, yeah, thank you for that, Jerry. And yeah, if you guys don't mind smashing that like button, it does help out the channel. Man, you guys are awesome. You guys are going off in the chat. All right, let's go on to let's get to our number 4. So we got to keep moving here. Number 4, guys. Let me know your number 4 in the comment section. My number 4 is boom. Speak of the devil. Nightmare on Elm Street, the OG, baby, 1984. Gotta love it. Yeah, it's my number 4, man. Freddy is one of my top 5 favorite horror characters. I'll say that to my grave, man. I love Freddy. He's a lot of it is Robert Englund's performance and what he brings to that character, the energy that he brings, the swagger that he brings, man. He's just a savage. I mean, he's just straight up gangster, bro. Freddy's a gangster, dude. I love Freddy, and this one by Wes Craven is so expertly crafted and made. A brilliant character with Freddy Krueger, the design, the look, the concept. And if you hear interviews with Wes Craven on how he created the Freddy character and the things that inspired him, to make that Freddy character. Is just great stories. Nancy is a phenomenal final girl. She's definitely up there for best final girls. She's not number one for me, but she's up there for sure. A great final girl. We get introduced to, of course, Johnny Depp. Some great kills. The Tina kill is classic. Johnny Depp's kill is classic. Some great kills, great scenes, great lines. No running in the hallway. That's a fucking phenomenal scene, man. Yeah, so much great stuff in that original Nightmare movie. So good. So good. Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street Uno is my number 4. But what does the chat say? Let's see. Dominique St. Clair saying Freddy was the one that started personality killers like Chucky, Pinhead, etc. Facts. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so like Norman Bates kind of had a personality to him, but Norman Bates he didn't have like, I don't know, he didn't have the charm necessarily. He was charming, but he didn't have the dark type of charm, or charisma, I should say. Maybe that's a better word. He didn't have the charisma that Freddy had. So yeah, I mean, and you had Billy from Black Christmas. He was just dark and sadistic and twisted. But yeah, I mean, I would probably agree with you on that. Freddy was, he was the one that kind of really started giving the slashers and the horror villains that kind of charisma and dark, twisted, type of personality for sure. Let's see. Mason saying I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, man, it's classic, dude. Classic for show. Dominique St. Clair saying for me is Jack's Back from 1988. I don't know that I've seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. Jack's Back 1988. Interesting. Twitch is saying OG Freddy is terrifying. Yeah, and that's another reason that I love that darker version of Freddy is he's scarier, man. Like he's scarier. He's more sadistic. Yeah, it has more than a horror feeling to it. Like this was the only Nightmare movie as a kid that I saw that did anything to me horror wise. Like this was the only one that scared me. Nightmare 2, Freddy scared me in it, but the movie as a whole didn't have the same effect that the original did. Nightmare 3 didn't scare me. Nightmare 4 didn't scare me. Nightmare 5 didn't scare me. Nightmare 6 was a joke. So this was that scared me as a kid, and because they really focused in on making Freddy, this dark, menacing devil coming up from the depths of hell to take your soul, and yeah, just a brilliant concept, for sure. Twitch is saying my number 4 is Poltergeist. Number 4, hey, I can respect that. Poltergeist definitely, one of the more iconic 80s horror films that definitely has a strong fan base. So yeah, I can totally respect that for number 4. Mason saying Nancy, Sally, and Sydney are the best final girls in horror history. Yeah, I mean those are some good picks. Sydney is definitely up there. Sydney's, she's top three for me. Sydney Prescott. I also have what's her name? Oh, what's her name? Sigourney Weaver from Alien franchise. Uh, why can I not remember her name? She's in there. She's in the conversation. For sure. Why can I not remember her name? My goodness, guys. I need to start writing down names on like sticky notes and then just putting them on my body, because my memory when it comes to remembering names is like all time worse. So, but yeah, she's Sigourney Weaver, Alien. Ripley, mm, get it. Ripley is definitely one of the best final girls for sure as well. Let's see. So Dominic is saying Jack's Back is the Jack the Ripper story that's set in Los Angeles. Okay, I'll have to check that out, man. I will definitely have to put that one on the to watch list, because I'm not sure I've ever heard of that one. So, Ellen Ripley, yeah, dude. Anyone who knows me will tell you, yeah, when it comes to remembering names, I remember faces very, very well, almost scary well. Like it's almost scary how well I can remember a face. Um, but when it comes to names, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. You don't want to put me on the witness stand when it comes to when it comes to remembering names, because yeah, that's doesn't happen. All right, are we on to number three, guys? Man, we're pushing through it. Number three, let me know in the comments section. Let me know in the comments section what your number three are. And guys, dude, my top three here, I mean, it's killing me. It's killing me to have to choose between these three. Like, I have them ranked, but I'm just like, ugh, these. I mean, they're really fighting right now for the gold, silver, and bronze here, man. These top three, honestly, it's gonna kind of wait. Was that did we just do four or five? We did four, right? Yeah, so we're on three. Yeah, okay, so top three. Um, man, I like seriously, like I'm still contemplating in my head if I want to go with the ranking I have them in, or if I want to change. Because I mean, all three of these are some of my like. All three of these are 5-star movies. My top three here, all three of these are 5 stars. They're perfection as far as I'm concerned. So it's like you're picking perfection, picking movies that are perfect in my opinion. Um, ah, so I guess my number three. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna do it. My number three. Here we go. The Shining from 1980. Stanley Kubrick, Jack Nicholson. Yeah, dude. This is another one I've done a review on. Me and Brian Lomax did a review on this one together. Dude, guys, I love The Shining. I love The Shining, man. It's stupid good, bro. It's stupid good. Um, yeah, The Shining's my number three. You get Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance is just he nails it, man. Phenomenal performance. The directing by Kubrick is brilliant. The writing, the script is brilliant. Um, yeah, it's a classic, dude. I love The Shining. Let's see what you guys are saying for y'all's number three. Makes Gremlins must be on this list, or I will protest. I will cancel your ass. All right. Let's see. So Twitch is saying his number three. I got The Thing. Um, I like it, man. I like it. I love The Thing. Great call. I got no issues with that. The Thing is phenomenal. Um, Dominique St. Clair is going with, for me, is The Wraith from 86. Hey, I can respect that, man. The Wraith that's another fun movie, another awesome car movie. That car that they built for that is sick. Gangster car, bro. Um, and what's his name? The guy the main guy in the movie was Charlie Sheen. He's great in it. A dark movie, like the story is really dark, actually. So yeah, dude, I like it. Good call. I can totally get down with the Wraith. I can definitely respect that. All right, let's see. From Texas is saying Chuck Russell's The Blob, probably, or maybe John Carpenter's The Thing. I don't know. Um, yeah, the Blob remake was pretty good, actually. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I did. I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, for me, The Thing is a banger, dude. The Thing is that's I mean, that's top tier horror film, my list for The Thing. Um that's Mason, that's one of my favorite movies in the whole wide world. Are you talking about The Shining? Or mention something else that was your favorite? Um, oh, okay. So The Shining is one of your favorite movies. Shining only at number. Dude, look, I'll say this, Mason. On any given day, these top three can change for me. On any given day, because they're all, like I said, my top three are 5-star movies. So they're perfection. They're perfect movies in my opinion. So these top three could alter on, like, you could ask me tomorrow and I might say, yeah, Shining's my number one. It really just, it depends on my mood. It depends on what I've watched recently. What I have a hunger to watch the most. So if you want to put Shining number one, I got no issues with that. It's just, this is how the list is falling today. But again, you ask me tomorrow, it might change up a little bit. So, but yeah, The Shining is it's phenomenal. It's so good. Um, Mason saying Friday Part 7 is a masterpiece. Michael, I know Michael from Movies and Beyond loves Friday Part 7. That's one of his favorites. Let's see what else. Mason saying the 80s was perfect. The 80s is definitely the juggernaut of horror, as far as the decade. Although I will say, if you were to ask me what my favorite decade of horror is, I would be very tempted to go with the 70s. Because some of my all-time all-time favorite horror movies are from the 70s. My top two, my two favorite horror movies of all time are from the 70s. Halloween and Jaws. And they're both from the 70s. So literally my top two favorite horror movies are 70s. But there are other movies in the 70s that would also be in my top 10. You know, like Black Christmas. Love Black Christmas. That one's 70s. The original Texas Chainsaw movie, 70s. Love it. The Exorcist, 70s. Love it. Alien, the first Alien, 70s. Love it. Alice, Sweet Alice, 70s. Love it. Carrie, 70s. Love it. I mean, we could just keep going. We could go down the list. Don't Look Now, 70s. Love it. Bro, I mean, there are so many bangers in the 70s. For me, this, as far as like my favorite decade, the 70s might take it. I'd be very tempted to go with 70s. I know the 80s had the most bangers, but favorite might be the 70s for me. I don't know. I think about that a lot. The 2000s have some of my favorite horror movies, but yeah, collectively, I don't know. I would be very tempted to go with the 70s, but yes, the 80s were definitely the juggernaut of horror decades for sure. Dominique saying 70s is definitely up there. Yeah, it is, man. It definitely is. All right, so that brings us into our top two. Top two, guys. Top two. Here we go. Dude, this is gonna get hard. Why do I do this to myself? All right, my number two, again, as of right now, because my top three are all 5 stars. So as of right now, my number two, I'm going with The Thing. I'm going with The Thing, baby. Yeah, the third John Carpenter movie on this list. What can I say? The guy's the master of horror. Kurt Russell as McCleary, Mac. They just call him Mac. He's phenomenal in this movie. Love him in this movie. He's great. The practical effects are just, they're legendary. Some of the best practical effects ever in horror. It's great stuff, man. Love it. The Thing is my number two. And again, if anyone wants to put The Thing as their number one, I got no issues. I got zero issues with that. So, yeah, but again, as of right now for today, I'm going with The Thing as my number two. If you ask me tomorrow, I might tell you The Thing's my number one. It's a 5-star film. It's perfection as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, love The Thing. Love it. Dominique St. Clair is saying number two is Predator. Good call. Good call. Respect it. 100% respect it. Classic movie. Mason saying The Thing, masterpiece. It is. Agreed. 100% masterpiece. Brilliant film. I do, Mason. I do see what you did there. Yeah, the monster in the movie, that creature design is awesome. Awesome creature design. So the effects work that they do is brilliant. Love that opening score, the beat there, the beginning was good. The characters are all entertaining. Yeah, man. It and that ending, bro, that ending is just so good. Like that's the way, that's the classic way to end a horror movie, is to end it like that, where it keeps you on edge. And Carpenter is one of the best at that. Hitchcock was really good at that as well. That's who Carpenter got it from. But leaving you as a viewer like on edge, that's how I want a horror movie to end. Don't give me a happy ending. Like leave me in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Like I that's because if you leave on a happy note, you're leaving like that the horror part of the horror from the experience is also leaving you. And I don't want that. Like I want the horror from the experience of watching the movie to stay with me after the movie, and when it ends like The Thing ends or like Halloween ends, it, that's the kind of feeling I want with a horror movie. It leaves you on edge, and yeah, just a phenomenal ending to The Thing. Love it. Let's see, from Texas saying it might be Leviathan with Peter Weller, and I love Leviathan to death. Uh, so you're going Leviathan as your number two on that one. Twitch is saying Lost Boys, Kiefer, and the Coreys. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I love Lost Boys. I do. I got no issues with that one at all being on your list. Dominique saying The Thing is a slasher in a way because the monster is picking them off one by one. Yeah, in a way it is. So this is the thing, like everyone has their own definition of what qualifies as a legitimate slasher movie. You have like there is actually an official definition of what makes a slasher by analysts and critics and stuff like that you can go by, but that's kind of been thrown out the window, and people really today it's a matter of just uh whatever you think qualifies as a slasher is a slasher. For me, I kind of like the rule book governing the slasher genre. So for anyone that doesn't know, the textbook definition of what makes a slasher movie, and you guys don't have to take my word for this, you can go look it up yourself, but it requires a one person killer killing other people. That's essentially, in the most layman's term, the most basic definition. That's what I would say. It's a one person killer. So it's got to be a person. So if it's like a creature or like a thing of something, it's not a person. It doesn't qualify. It's got to be a person that's killing multiple people. So if they're just killing one person, like Hush. I've heard some people say Hush is a horror, it's a slasher movie. It's not, because the guy there is really only killing one girl. He's really only after one person. So I wouldn't classify really as a slasher. So it's got to be multiple people. The killer's got to be a person. That's kind of like the basic formula. So you look at like Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn wouldn't technically, by the technical definition, wouldn't be classified as a slasher, because Wrong Turn is a family of people. It's a family of killers doing the killers, not one person. It's a group. It's a family doing the killing. You could classify Freddy as a slasher, because Freddy Krueger was actually a person at one point. He was an actual person. So that qualifies. Chucky is a slasher because Charles Lee Ray was a person at one point. So Chucky still qualifies. So that's kind of like the technical, classical, by the book definition of a slasher movie. That's kind of what I stick to for my definition of it, because it gives a definitive answer to it. Because if we don't have a definitive answer, then shoot, you could throw anything in there. You'd be like freaking Ghostbusters is a slasher movie. You know, like if you don't have a definitive answer or definitive definition, then you're it's just kind of an arbitrary thing at that point. So I do like having a definitive answer to it, a definitive, you know, this is what a slasher movie is. I'm not saying my is the right. Again, it is subjective. A slasher movie can be whatever you want it to be, but for me personally, I like having that definitive, you know, this is what a slasher movie is for me. But yeah, there you guys. So that was long, but yeah, I had to go off there for a second. Mason saying the Thing is perfect for a snowy day. Yeah, dude, it would be fun to watch it on a snowy day for sure. Dominic St. Clair saying my friend was mad at the ending of this because he said he didn't like that they left him with no answers. See, that's what I love about it. I love that it leaves you on edge like that. It doesn't give you, it doesn't, it doesn't feed you the answers. You got to fill in the blank yourself with your own imagination, your own mind. It brings you into the viewing experience yourself. That's what film is supposed to do. That's why I love that ending so much. I don't want things just handed to me, like just fed to me. Let me use my imagination to fill in the blank and create along with the film. So yeah, I love the ending to The Thing. One of the best endings in a horror movie, in my opinion. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Masons, and I know Scream has two killers, but still, yeah. So here's what Scream is interesting because you could go both ways with Scream and be right. Technically, you could go both ways with Scream and be right. You could take the position that Scream, by the technical rule book, wouldn't be a slasher film because, like you said, Mason, it has multiple killers. So in that sense, you would be right saying that Scream isn't technically a slasher movie. But you could also take the position that Scream is a slasher and be right because the killer is really Ghostface. Ghostface is the killer, and he's only one person. So, like, Ghostface, the character, is one singular character, but he's played by multiple people. So that's what makes Scream interesting. That's one of the brilliant, genius things that Wes Craven did with Scream. Is how he created that film. You could technically be right using either position. If you want to come down that Scream is a slasher film, you're right in that, because it is. Like, Ghostface, the character, is one specific character, but he's played by multiple people. But it's the character of Ghostface that's killing, that's messing with people. So you would be right if you classified Scream as a slasher. But you would also be right, technically, if you excluded it from the slasher subgenre, because there are multiple killers. So that's what makes Scream really unique in that regard. One reason I love Scream, but yeah, Scream is interesting with how it would land really for people. I do include it for, like, in my slasher subgenre. I would include it. That's just me personally. But yeah, Scream is interesting. Dominique St. Clair saying The Strangers is another example of a categorized slasher, which is not right. Yeah, because again, The Strangers, that's a family. That's multiple people killing. doing the killing. So by the rule book, technically, again, this isn't necessary. I'm not saying that this is the right way. Everyone's different. If you categorize this movie as a slasher, that's on you. That's your opinion. But for me, you're right. Yeah, The Strangers I would not include in a slasher series because it's multiple people doing the killing, not one singular person. So yeah, good call on that one. Let's see, Mason saying if you don't count that, then Scream 3, that's one. Yeah, right. Yeah, Scream 3, that's one killer. So yeah, that one would qualify. Dominic St. Clair saying, I believe it is reasonable to put The Thing in the slasher category because the way the film plays like a slasher with the mystery of who's the thing and people are paranoid and there are gory kills. Yeah, and I totally respect that. Yeah, I totally respect that. Like I said, it's subjective. Like there's no right or wrong answer to what's a slasher film. It just, for me personally, I like having definitive terminology to work with, in my, definitions of things. But no, I mean, I totally respect that. And see, Dominic saying Ghostface can be anyone. That's what makes Ghostface lives forever because people are always copycats. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the thing with Ghostface, and like with the Scream movies, you can make a thousand Scream movies because you get a different person playing Ghostface every time. So you literally can keep it going as long as you want, which is again just goes to the geniusness of Wes Craven with that. So, all right, guys, we are on to number one. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? Doom, doom. DX. All right, so my number one, ladies and gentlemen, my number one is, drum roll. Here we go. Boom. American Werewolf in London, baby. That's right. Get you some. Get you some. Number one, American Werewolf in London. Look, before you guys come at me, because I know some of you guys are going to come at me. Before you guys come at me, you guys should know. I mean, come on. You guys should know by now. I'm a werewolf guy. I love werewolves. I love them. This is one of the greatest werewolf movies of all time. So obviously, my love for this movie is going to be just through the roof. I love this movie. One of the best werewolf movies ever made. A great story, great characters, great direction, great practical effects. Dude, it's so good. I love this movie. I love this movie. This is a 5-star masterpiece for me. If you guys want to see me freak out in a movie, there's a couple of scenes that every time I watch this movie, I freak out on because just the impact that it has. Like the scene where they are they're walking, Jack and the John Landis, no, not John Landis, shoot, the two main guys in the movie they leave the Slaughtered Lamb pub and they start walking through the woods at night, and you just hear the howl and the growl from the wolf. Bro, come on, dude. That's just stupid. Like it's bone chilling. I've seen this movie 100 times. It still gives me goosebumps when I watch it, man. Like that howl is just so menacing. And it's it's at dark. It's in the dark. It's at night. You're in the woods. You hear it, but you don't know where it's at. Dude, werewolves are the scariest things on the planet, bro. Werewolves are the scariest motherfuckers on the planet. All right, I'm just gonna say that. I would rather go through anything. I would rather go through a great white, bro. I'd rather take on Bruce the shark. I would rather go through a grizzly bear. I would rather go through a lion. I don't care, bro. I'm not messing with a werewolf. I'm not messing with werewolves, bro. They're to me they're the most terrifying things on the planet. So, yeah, but I love them. I love them to death. They're just so yeah. American Werewolf in London is my number one. Let's see what the chat is saying, and let's see how bad I'm about to get trolled here. So, uh, Mason saying I did not see that comment. Yeah, it's probably a shocker to some. I know, but again, just it's a total werewolf thing. Like it comes from a werewolf fandom. I'm a huge werewolf fan, so it comes from my love for werewolves and my love for that movie. So yeah, that's it would be my number one. Uh, Mason saying no Friday movies on top of your list. Um, I like. Oops, sorry. I like Jason. I do. I like Jason. I like a lot of the Friday movies. I really do. There's a number of Friday movies that I really like, and I've done a Friday review series too. So I've ranked all the Friday movies, done a review of each of them, and most of them had a positive review for me. I gave most of them a positive review. I do like most of the Friday movies. There's a few that I love. I like most of them. There's a few that I love, and then there's one in particular that would be in like way at the top of my list, but it wasn't in the 80s. So, yeah, for me, I'm glad you mentioned that, Mason, because the movie that I forgot to put on here, the honorable mention that I was going to say should have been on this list was Friday Part 6, Jason Lives. That movie is one of my favorite Friday movies. So I would actually put that at number 6. So I would have that just slightly above of Halloween 4. So then Halloween 4 would get bumped to number 7. I forget what I had after Halloween 4, but everything else bump it down 1, because Friday Part 6 should be my number 6. I don't know why I didn't. I guess I just missed it. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't have it on here. But Friday Part 6, I love that one. Absolutely deserves to be on here. That's one of my favorite Friday movies. So yes, that one would be on here, but it wouldn't be my number one on this list. So let's see. Twitch is saying Return of the Living Dead because I'm old and I saw it with my dad. So a lot of nostalgia. I'm sure you're not that old. Come on, you're not that old. But hey, Return of the Living Dead is fun, and I'm not even the biggest zombie guy, and I enjoy that movie. It's just a fun ride. It's a blast. So yeah, I can totally respect that. Dominique St. Clair saying Friday Final Chapter, the ultimate 80s slasher. That's your number one. Hey, I like it, man. Friday Part 4 is solid. It's solid Friday movie. I got no issues with that. I get it. I could totally respect it. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Twitch is saying great pick for your number one. In fact, since I have They Live on this list and it's more sci-fi, I would replace They Live with American Werewolf. Great freaking pick. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I love it's just again, I love werewolves. I always have. Even like as when I was really little and I was watching all those Universal monster movies, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. The Wolfman was always the one I liked the most. That was always my favorite of those old Universal monster movies. So even as a young kid, I was always more attracted to the werewolf movies. Those ones always did more for me. Um, and American Werewolf in London is one of the best werewolf movies ever made. It's arguably the best. If anyone says it's the best werewolf movie ever made, I won't argue with you. You know, I can, I can get on board with that. So, uh, yeah, for me, it would be it's my number one. Let's see. Yes, Dominique St. Clair. Man, you guys keep coming in and saving me with these names, dude. I'm telling you, I have the world's worst memory when it comes to remembering names. I couldn't remember my own name until I was like 18. For the longest time, people would be like, "What's your name?" I don't know. Pick something, dude. Your guess is as good as mine. Just call me something. Call me Ray. I don't care. I've always been that way with names. I don't remember names, but I remember faces at a unnatural and an almost unnatural way. Like I could see someone, at Walmart for like 2 seconds, and I would remember their face 6 months later if I saw them again. It's weird, man. Like I remember faces really good, but when it comes to names, man, it's just I don't know. Horrible with names. But I know the names, I know the character names like in my head, but it's remembering the name that I have a problem with. But yes, David is the main character in American Werewolf in London. Uh, from Texas is saying, yeah, but what do you think about Silver Bullet? What are your thoughts on Silver Bullet Claim? I love it. I love it. Yeah, I just watched that one recently. That was consideration for this list. Didn't quite make the cut because, again, 10 movies in a decade of just banger after banger. That's a really tight list. But yeah, I love Silver Bullet. Another great werewolf movie. That one would also be, in one of my favorite werewolf movies. Uncle Red, phenomenal. Yeah, great stuff in that one. Let's see. Mason is saying Jaws will eat you, bro. Yeah, dude, I don't mess with sharks. I don't do chompers, man. I don't mess with chompers. Anything that can chomp my face off, I ain't fucking with it, bro. I'm not going there. I'm not going halfway there. Nah, they can kick rocks, dude. But if I was put into the situation where someone said, "Hey, we're gonna throw you into this tank with a great white, or you can go run out into the woods with the werewolf. You're gonna die either way. Which one are you gonna choose?" I'd be like, "Yeah, just give me the tank. Give me the tank. Let me try to go a few rounds with Bruce. But yeah, don't let the werewolf anywhere near me. They're because, bro, for one, they're incredibly strong, so you can't overpower it. Number two, they're incredibly fast, so you can't outrun them. Number three, they can see in the dark. You can't. Number four, they can smell your ass, so you can't hide from them. Like, number five, they can hear you. Number six, when they do finally get their hands on you, they're just gonna maul you and rip you to shreds. At least a great white's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty quick. He'll take a leg. He'll bleed out. It's gonna be painful. Quint didn't have a good time with Bruce, but he was still dead in a few seconds. A werewolf, bro. Do you see what that thing did uh to the kid in American Werewolf in London? Do you see what that thing did to him? He freaking ripped that guy to shreds, bro. He freaking mauled his ass. He was ripping him apart while he was alive. While he was alive, he was just getting ripped to shreds, bro. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not trying to get ripped to shreds, dude. Give me Jaws. Give me Bruce, man. I'll take my chance with Bruce. I'll go a few rounds with the shark, but I don't want anything to do with the werewolf. So yeah, sharks are scary. I don't go splashing around the ocean. But if it came down to that or a werewolf, I'm jumping in. I'm diving in, bro. I'm jumping in the tank. So let's see. Dominic St. Clair saying American Werewolf in London is scary as hell. Oh, it for sure. I know people say is a comedy, does have comedic scenes, but there's so many scary scenes. Yeah, it's I know some people they do kind of classify as like a dark comedy or whatever. I don't. It to me, it's a horror film. It's a horror film. There are some legitimately scary scenes that as a kid just freaking gave me nightmares, bro. Um, and like some people's like just because a movie has a couple of scenes that make you laugh, that doesn't classify it as a comedy just because it has a couple of scenes that make you laugh. The theme of the film has to be comedic for it to be a comedy, just like the theme of a horror movie should be horror to be a horror movie, So yeah, people that think American Werewolf in London is comedy, I'm like, really? Was the theme of that movie comedic? Well, no. It was dark. It was, dark tone. The theme was horror. Okay, so then how is it comedy? People blur the lines of genre all the time now. But yeah, American Werewolf in London is very clearly a horror film. Let's see. American Werewolf in London is a good choice. Mason saying I love Friday Part 6. Yeah, I do too. I love it. Yeah. And it should be on this list. Just in your own imagination, put Friday Part 6 in as my number 6 and then just bump everything else down. So I don't know how I didn't get it on there. No Return of the Living Dead, no Gremlins on this list. I'm not the biggest Gremlins fan. I like the second Gremlins better than the first one. But yeah, they're just not movies that I gravitate to a whole lot. I get the love. I do. People, love Gremlins. I don't have a problem with it. I see it. I see the attraction to it. They're just not for me. They're not really my type of horror. But yeah, I get it. I do. Let's see. The werewolf was realistic as well in that film because it's more of an animal than a monster trying to survive in a world that doesn't belong to. Yeah, great point. Great point on that one. Yeah, that thing was fucking terrifying in American Werewolf in London. That thing was, yeah, terrifying. Sharks have the advantage in the ocean and water. That's true. They do, but again, I feel like that my death is going to be quicker with a shark than a werewolf, and I'm not going to be. It's got another thing to consider with the shark is you can just drown yourself. Like if he's about to come for you, just drown yourself. Just breathe in the water and just drown yourself. So that when he eats you, you're already gone. You're already, you drowned yourself. You took yourself out of the game, and then you're good. Like there's way. That sounded really messed up. Don't do that. But yeah, like my whole point being, I feel like you could, it would be quicker with a shark than a werewolf. I don't want anything to do with a werewolf. Let's see. Jaws super fast. The girl in the beginning of Jaws gets eaten. Yeah, fair. It's very true. Twitch is saying fun topic. Thanks for this, bro. Yeah, man. Thanks for being here, dude. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad to kick it with you guys. I'm so glad we were finally able to do this. get this one out of the way. I know you guys have been expecting this and wanting this for a while. It's just been a crazy past few weeks for me. Of course, last week was Mother's Day, and then the week before that, when I tried to do it, no, I think it was 3 weeks ago, because the week before that I had stuff going on. I couldn't stream, and then the week before that was when I was the first crack at this, when I had to dip and bow out because of an emergency. So yeah, glad we were able to do this and get this one done. Hope you guys enjoy it, and had a good time. It's been a blast, man. Now your fuel movie, and thanks for being here, Twitch. I greatly appreciate it, man. I'm glad you were able to join us. Let's see. Mason saying, I love both Gremlins. Mason saying, the Wolfman from 1930s is more of a kid-friendly version of it. Yeah, it is. But for the time, for the 1930s, for that time, it was solid, man, and it was terrifying. For the 1930s, it was terrifying. And I love the original Wolfman with, Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains. I love that movie. Is it scary? No, not really, not by today's standards, but is it a good movie? Absolutely. Absolutely. Dominic St. Clair saying, if you had to throw away one film of two, what would you throw away? Jaws or An American Werewolf in London? Brother, oh, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me, my guy? Oh, dude. Jaws or American Werewolf in freaking London? Ah, man. Yeah, I know my answer. I do. I know my answer. But it hurts me to let the film go that I would let go. It really hurts me. But if I had to rank them, or if I had to get rid of one, I would keep Jaws, and I would let go of American Werewolf in London. Uh, just because to me, Jaws is one of the greatest movies ever made. Not just horror movies; it's one of the greatest movies, period, ever made. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I would definitely keep Jaws, but it freaking kills me to let go of the thought of letting go of American Werewolf in London. But yeah, I would go with Jaws. I would. He's saying, don't pick. Don't do it. From text saying, this was super fun. Thank you. Yeah, no, dude, thank you, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by and kicking it with me. Love talking with you. Love seeing your picks, man. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap it up, man. I gotta go. I'm hungry. Haven't had lunch yet, so I gotta get some food in me. But yeah, and enjoyed kicking it with you freaks. Glad we were able to get this done. And thank you all for being here. It really means a lot to me. It really does. I appreciate the hell out of all of you. You guys mean the world to me. The fact that you guys would come, take time out of your day to come kick it with me on my channel, talk horror, just it means a lot. It really does. I apologize that we couldn't get this done earlier. But yeah, let me know also in the comments section if you guys want a 70s edition. If you guys want me to do a 70s one of this, I don't mind doing it. But I want to know if you guys want a 70s edition or if you want to move on to something else. I'm fine either way. But yeah, just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, man. Mason saying yes, please. Yeah, we might have to do that. So stay tuned for the next ranking, which is going to be Evil Dead franchise. Going to be ranked. That's the one that won the poll. That I posted. I think it was on Saturday or Friday or Saturday. I posted the poll. Looks like Evil Dead is one out, so that will be the next ranking video. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this week. If I don't get to it this week, I'll definitely get to it next week, but stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for being here. And until next time, you know what it is. Kick it and rock on.